Imagine a world where two teenagers are able to single-handedly dismantle and destroy a dictatorial regime that's had hundreds, if not thousands, of years of build-up behind it. Sadly enough, we live in that world. Welcome to the Missouri Traffic Experience, your only source of young adult dystopian fiction. I'm your host, Trey Rolfus, and today I'm joined here by Cale Owens.
That's what they call me.
Ben Harrison.
In the flesh.
And, of course, Ben Mobley.
That's what they call me?
Yes.
They call you that too.
Do they?
Yeah.
I don't know, I thought it was just between you and me, you know?
Yeah.
I thought it was a little personal thing.
No.
No?
No.
No?
No sentimental value here. Well, yes, ladies and
It's been
gentlemen.
destroyed.
Today, we are here to talk about some of the more futuristic themes in our society and the media we consume.
Of course. Governmental corruption, economic desolation,
Anarcho-monkeyism.
anarcho-monkeyism, all of those traits.
Yeah, but we're going to be exploring them through the viewpoint of a 40-year-old man trying to sell books to 12-year-olds.
Basically.
It's a living.
Yep. But despite the actual dystopia we are currently living in, we still like to read about fictional dystopias that still manage to be worse than our current conditions.
Plot-wise.
You say we like to read.
They're all
People
bad.
like to read.
People like to
They're-
read. I don't think any of us like to read these.
Yeah.
However, I will say there is one piece of dystopian
One Piece?
fiction.
One Piece.
No,
Yeah, let's
it's
talk
not
about
One
One Piece, guys.
No!
Alright. So,
No.
Brad,
there's
explain to us
Luffy.
the entire
And-
plot of One Piece
Alright,
every
alright,
episode.
alright. So basically, there's this guy named Luffy, and he eats
Monkey
this
D.
fruit
Luffy.
that makes him all stretchy and stuff. And so basically,
That's all you need to know.
And
No,
he
what
fights
happens
other pirates
is
for
he wants-
980 episodes
he
straight.
wants to find the One Piece. And so basically, every single episode of the show is equivalent to like an hour in One Piece. So it's basically just non-stop going on this Luffy's life, like every single moment, like 24/7.
We get
on
to
Luffy.
see him
Do you get us in pee?
in the
It's
bathroom.
lasted a pretty long time.
How long are the
after
bathroom
Taco
segments?
Bell.
Like a
What?
Truman Show.
They
type
go on
thing.
for a bit too long. However, speaking of anime, that is actually, there's this little-known 1988 film out of
Called
Japan.
SAO.
You might have heard of it. It's called
Sword Art Online.
Akira.
So we're starting with the best, and we're gonna move on to
It's all downhill
some other
from here.
Wait,
examples.
should we
that
talk about Sword Art Online first?
No.
I think it's better.
It's a deep, dark coal mine. As we descend further, the air
Dude, Sword
gets
Art Online is a
thick.
masterpiece.
More and
Sword
more
Art Online has so much
The light
substance.
grows dim.
The Canaries start dying.
The air is
That's what they
poison.
do, right?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Or do they faint?
no,
Or do
they,
they chirp?
they die. They
Sword
chirp.
Art
So,
Online.
so the idea with the canaries is you send a canary
Sword-
in first, because they chirp a lot, and if the air down there is poisonous, then it'll stop
They
chirping.
stop chirping. Oh,
So that's
okay.
a
I
sign.
didn't know how that worked.
Yeah.
Where do they get a
Anyways.
canary? Or like there's like coal miners in like Pennsylvania, like
They
Like
get-
1950s,
They
like-
catch them.
catch.
They go to the local canary forest with bug nets and
They-
just catch
they
canaries.
Grow 'em right out of the ground.
You're a fine specimen to the coal mine with you.
No, I don't want to go
And then
to
all
the coal
canaries turn
mine.
black because of the coal.
That's racist. They
But
can't do that.
anyways, Akira.
Yeah. Okay. The first thing when we started doing this, Gabe he came up to me. He's like, Ben, you cannot talk for an entire episode about Akira. I
So
think
we're
to
not
put
talking
in
for a
perspective.
whole episode.
So we're
about
talking.
Akira.
We're gonna do that.
We're talking most of an episode about Akira.
No, but yeah, to say I like Akira is an understatement. Honestly,
Yeah.
because I am not a very motivated person. My attention span is like that of a goldfish, so I don't watch movies that often. But like when I do, I usually like obsess over it for like a month because I watch nothing else. 'Cause I usually underestimate how much I'm gonna like a movie, so I always like it more than I expect. But with Akira, it's like that, but it's lasted like 2 years.
But like Akira, you actually have to like watch a movie for a month to understand it.
Yeah, Akira. No,
Like, it
okay,
sets you up for that
like a 2-hour movie, like for like a normal movie, like I'll like stop paying attention like halfway through. Sometimes like I'll get it, but like sometimes I'll just like phasing it out. But Akira, I've watched like 10 times, like full attention, and I almost understand the plot.
Let's give a little bit of context to our viewers at home.
Akira.
Was
Go watch Akira instead. Where are you doing watching?
It was a manga.
It started out as a manga, a graphic novel of sorts, and made its way into a film adaptation, an animated film adaptation. The original book version was over 1,000 pages.
2,000 pages.
2,000 pages of illustrated, like, good, thoroughly thought out content.
Mm-hmm. And it was condensed into 2 hours of a movie.
Yeah.
So to say that it was the plot of the movie was confusing is like an understatement.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. On a first watch through, you will be very lost.
Even with like my baby brain, I was able to surprisingly understand most of it my first watch through. So I was really surprised when like I showed it to other people and like they had like no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Well, moment to moment, you kind of understand what's going on with everything. You know, like, in certain, like, you understand the scenes, like, when they're isolated from each other. Like,
cause, like
the opening scene.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, the opening scene is awesome. First
Opening's
of all,
the best part.
Yeah.
Of the
if you're not gonna watch, if you're not gonna like sit down, if you're like, I'm not gonna sit down and watch Akira, like I'm not doing that right now. Just go at least look up the opening scene, cause it's mint.
Yeah.
I think it is probably one of my favorite opening scenes in any movie.
Now I'm not usually
nice.
one who's too big into anime or animation at all, really. But I think that it was a really well done movie, especially for its age. A lot of the animation scenes are really, really thoroughly well done.
And it's very smoothly
really
animated
smooth.
as well.
Yeah, it
Very
is.
smooth.
24 frames per second.
Yeah, 24.
That's what the economic bubble does. It did wonders for the animation genre.
But yeah.
Now, Mobley, why don't you, since you know the movie best, why don't you give our audience a little teaser, plot synopsis.
Little teaser.
Yeah. And keep in mind, this
Can't
movie
do
is
that. That's
free
impossible.
on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube, just the whole
Akira, the full movie. I'm not sure if you can find it anymore.
No, I actually was able to pull it up not too long ago.
Really?
People
So,
really
okay.
So I'll
No,
take
I
it
want
right
to
here.
explain it. So like every time
Alright,
Akira's
all of Akira.
uploaded, like it's like real. They have to like originally when I watched it like a year and a half ago for the first time, it was like you could just look up Akira sub or Akira dub, and it's just like up there. But now I think that the Akira dub is the only one up there, and like, I mean, it's fine, but like you don't want to watch it.
It's kind of
Well, it's the new dub.
Yeah, it's
not
the new dub,
old
which is better. If you want a real experience, watch the old dub.
Canada.
Canada. No, like can I don't know if I could say this, but like in the 88 or the 89 dub of Akira, I think Tetsuo calls Canada a bitch face. It's really funny. There's like a bunch of weird insults, and also for some reason Canada has like a Bostonian accent, and he sounds like a 30-year-old man.
Yeah.
Like,
But you can actually find it. It's disguised as a slime video
Yeah.
right now.
If you want to find the
I think it's called Just a Slime Tutorial, not Akira full movie.
No, and the best part is the description is like, hey everyone, comment something about how you like the slime, so YouTube doesn't figure it out.
Yeah, so it is completely free online. If not, I believe it's on Hulu as well, so if you have access to that. Honestly, There's no real excuse not to watch it. And trust me, I know if it's animation like that's usually not your thing. I understand because I'm in quite the same boat as you. However, I would say that it's at least worth a watch just because I think there is a lot to get out of it. A lot of it's really weird. A couple of like Frankenstein-looking babies.
Oh, the Franken babies. The Franken
some,
babies are always...
Some stuff interesting, but I really think that if you give it a shot, I think that there's definitely stuff to be enjoyed in that.
I mean, if it is...
It's on freeakiramovie.com.
Really?
Yeah.
But also, the first time around, you won't really get any of the deeper
Okay,
meanings.
you have to watch the movie, then read the manga, then watch the movie again, then watch the movie about 5 more times, and then you can get the plot.
I mean,
but really, you don't really need to understand the plot to enjoy the movie.
Yeah, but Ben,
I've watched it once.
It's some good boxing.
It's some good. It's not even boxing.
Yeah.
That's Ben's
say,
term for shonen.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's not my term for shonen. It's just a term for shonen. Boxing.
I've never heard anyone else refer to it as boxing.
But yeah, it's super weird to watch. The pacing, I'd say, is kind of strange.
Okay, everybody complains about the pacing, but I had no problem with it. Actually, the first time I watched the movie, I was like, "Damn, this is really well paced." And
Ben, that is also that's your opinion.
Yeah, but my opinion is really good.
I would say
I will. Oh
no, go ahead.
Oh, but also, sometimes the characters can look a little similar, and you can get confused sometimes. But
there's only
if anything, just watch it for the visuals, which are amazing, and the music.
Okay, there's only 3 characters you need to keep track of, anyways. So like, it doesn't matter if they all look the same.
Yeah,
just keep your eyes on Kaneda, Kei, and Tetsuo. Those are the only ones that matter.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
It's really easy to keep your eyes on Tetsuo.
Dude, I can't
really
take my eyes
easy.
off him, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
for the closing half, everyone, I just want to say one thing. That is Pepto-Bismol Monster. You'll thank me later.
All right.
Also,
I think you're forgetting about the best character, Kai.
Kaisuke is I like Kaisuke a lot, but he's not important.
He's not important. Yes, he is.
He's important in the
For no
manga a little bit
particular
because like
reason,
he carries a
he's important.
shotgun around and stuff, but like that's it.
He carries a shotgun.
Yeah,
but
Kaisuke
so
his character is that he carries a shotgun and he screams sometimes.
We've talked around the movie and bits of the movie, but like a little plot synopsis. So there's this biker gang.
Wait, I want to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll let Mobley have this one.
Okay, so there's this biker gang, and they really like meth, right? They really like meth. So, and they go on the street and they kill each other a lot. And then all of a sudden, the police are like shooting people and stuff, but that's neither here nor there. Except it is relevant. But so one of the members of the biker gang, Tetsuo, accidentally runs into a 12-year-old Frankenstein baby, and he gets superpowers, and he starts killing people.
I think you forgot to mention the whole like nuclear.
Oh yeah, and there's this girl
time.
Kay, right? And she's a libtard. She hates the government. and and the main character.
Actually, I'm just gonna disclude Ben's audio.
No, can I not say that?
But
no, you can.
I mean, I should be able to. In a joking
But
manner,
so
but yeah,
basically
she's stinky Antifa, and she's like, Kenna's like, man, I like this girl, so I'm gonna go blow up government buildings to get her attention. So he like. He does terrorist stuff, I guess. He finds Tetsuo. Tetsuo tries to kill him, and it's like, damn, that kind of pissed me off. So the entire movie is just a wild goose chase. Kaneda trying to kill this like immortal like demigod just because he's angry.
Yeah.
And
this all takes place Neo.
This all takes place
Tokyo.
in
Neo Tokyo,
Circa
in 2019.
2020-esque.
In the distant future, 2019
yeah.
or 2020 or 2021, depending on your viewpoint. Because technically, I did the math. It should take place in 2020, February 27, 2020. That was the date I pinned.
And it is after a
Yeah.
World War III-esque event.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like.
After the city
I guess
was leveled.
you can relate to like
rebuilt.
Blade Runner, like World War Turbulence.
Yeah, that's a good segue. On the topic of another decent before we go down into the bad side of dystopian fiction,
AKA any books.
Anything
Most books,
you remember
yeah.
reading
Most
that one
books.
book in middle school? Yeah, why don't you look back at that one again?
Middle school.
Anyway.
The middle school library was just
Besides,
full
like-
of that garbage.
Yeah.
Blade Runner,
Besides like George Orwell, is there any good like dystopian fiction?
I mean, yeah, Cyberpunk, which is just Akira, because so Cyberpunk is I think it's good because it's realistic. Like,
I'm talking about books.
oh, books. Well, yeah, there are Cyberpunk books.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
But,
but we should,
most of those books now are just like not even like critiquing like anything about the government in particular.
No,
They're
but
just, like,
Can I say something about
they're
Cyberpunk?
glorified
real quick?
romance novels.
Cyberpunk
man.
is like
They really
realistic, okay? But like, okay, it's like no fascist government's gonna like take control of like the United States or something like and like be like the Hunger Games or something. Because first of all, the world building in the Hunger Games is atrocious anyways. Nothing like that could happen. If you really think about it, like, it's just stupid. And I'll get to that later. But with like Cyberpunk and stuff, like a capitalist like oligarchy, just like taking over every aspect of human life, and just like people being like completely addicted to technology, like that's just like what life is right now. Without like the flashy lights and like noodle shops and whatever.
I
we
bet
gotta talk
you're
about The
looking at your
Matrix.
phone right now, scrolling through Twitter.
Dude, you're on your phone.
With some dry
How do
lips.
you guys feel about The Matrix?
The Matrix. We live in
I've
one.
never seen it.
You haven't?
I've never seen it. No. I don't. Like I
not
said earlier, I don't watch movies.
the biggest. I know The Matrix is really well known and for the most part well regarded, at least the original. I could never get behind it. It was a little bit too.
Dude,
too
but it is
alienish
wholesome
to me.
Keanu Reeves in it.
Yeah.
Too much
I mean,
It
leather.
does.
I think The Matrix is like a really good movie. It's just like it's not most of like the dystopian kind of points are like they're there and they're pretty valid, but they're not like it's just kind of like very like minute and like not very like
I don't
well brought
really
out.
Yeah, well, you can
know
have
if
fun
I would
discussing the Matrix with people who've never seen
consider-
the Matrix, but like,
I don't. Well, I just like to say that I don't really consider The Matrix. In a way,
Matrix
I
is
don't
just
really
like
consider
sci-fi.
it to be a dystopian.
Yeah,
I
I'd
understand
say it's
how it
more
could be, but I would say it's
sci-fi,
more sci-fi. I don't think it's really meant to bring up like societal issues per se. I think it's supposed to be more like a thought experiment type thing.
yeah.
Although that's just my view, of course. That's
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is.
I
more
have
like
no
an action
opinion.
movie.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, have any of you guys seen Blade Runner?
I have not.
I've been meaning to.
Blade
That's the
Runner.
other one.
Ooh,
I've been
it's
meaning
a-
to
it's a
watch
good
Blade
one.
Runner and Ghost in the Shell because those are the
Blade
other two
Runner-
movies
Oh,
that I
Ghost
like
in the
Akira.
Shell looks really cool.
The one thing that I'd say about Blade Runner, I liked Blade Runner. I didn't love it, but I see why people would. It's got Harrison Ford as the lead character in it, which he's one of my favorite actors.
Oh yeah, he's great.
There
If you don't know
are
him, he plays Han Solo,
Indiana
Jones,
Yeah, he's been in all
to name a
sorts of
couple.
stuff. That guy from American Graffiti.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's as I liked it. I didn't love it. I thought that it was a little bit. I thought near the end it got a lot better. The very end, when like a really big question about Harrison Ford's character is kind of really brought to your mind. There really aren't any solid answers in that movie, which I like. But you have to make sure that you watch the right version. I'd have to look it up again, but I believe it was the final cut or like director's cut. That's the right version because they minced the whole thing up when they were putting it into theaters because whatever test audience didn't like it, so they put out a bunch of the aspects that made it a really decent movie. So make sure that you watch the good version. I wish I could supply a definitive answer for you, but a quick Google search will do it. Just look up what the best version is. I know they had Blade Runner on Netflix for a while. I don't really know where else you'd be able to watch it. Look around. But if you come across it, I'd say it's definitely worth a watch and is another example of some good sci-fi.
Perhaps once we've all seen it, we can come back and talk about it a bit.
We'll give a retrospect.
Give it a watch.
Well, we're at about the 20-minute mark here with the recording, so we're gonna go ahead and probably, I think, move on deeper into our coal mine. And
the canaries have stopped chirping.
We'll tear into a little bit of this lesser quality science fiction and dystopian. You know, we all, I'm sure, have looked back at what we used to read back in the day and probably been disappointed in our past selves. Of course, there's nothing wrong with liking these novels, but we just like to tear them apart for our own enjoyment.
Yep.
So yeah.
So speaking of that, you guys have all read Divergent? Right?
I have not. I read good books when I was a kid.
Okay, so I get to talk about Divergent. I will also say I've not read the whole book. And I read it in like middle school.
Now this is the first book
in
we're talking
7th
about,
grade.
right? Because I know that
just the first book. I didn't read any of the sequels because it's such a bad book. So
what is it about?
The world. I think it takes place in Chicago.
And we're probably going to get into like spoiler territory here with the books that we're tearing apart.
We're actually probably
if you want to read Divergent, go ahead.
It's your fault.
If you really care about
if you are of the average demographic of the listeners to this channel, like, I mean, go ahead, but like, why?
Just be advised.
Be advised there are spoilers for most of the book. So, we are in Chicago in unknown year. The world has been, the city of Chicago has been split into, I think, 5 different factions.
Why?
You got, because the world, they were split into 5 different factions because each of these factions has a different disagreement on what the folly of mankind is.
That sounds like a stupid thing to like.
Or like of what the upbringing of it is, or like the best aspect. And they try to be like the opposite of that.
So like
they try to be, so they take the folly and try to be the exact opposite of it.
So like, okay. So there's only 5?
I think there are 5.
Well, that sounds a lot better, because like now they're like 196 or whatever.
But so, to my knowledge, so there's the first one we start out in with the main character. I cannot remember her name because she is just girl. 1.
Yeah.
She is just rebel girl.
Rebel character.
So she is
Male
in
07.
the white faction, which I cannot remember what exactly their name was.
What are some of the purpose of this faction? They're divided up into different expertises in solving whatever issue of humanity they believe is the most dire.
No, they're just divided.
Because you can't have a.
They're not divided. They're diverged.
You can't have terrible dystopian without having the United States cut up into different sections. We'll get to that.
Yeah,
we'll get
and this is like just in Chicago, pretty much.
And this is just in Chicago,
which has been kind of destroyed and just kind of lived in by these factions.
You've
got the white faction.
The Chicago Bean.
I think it is.
What?
Like, actually, for real?
I don't think so,
in Millennium Park?
That'd be funny if the bean was still there.
The bean.
Yeah, no, that's the only consistency.
So,
and it's like working.
There's the white faction, which is all about being selfless. Because they think that selfishness is the folly of mankind.
Very reflective.
And that's where the main character is from. Then there's also the blue faction, which thinks that ignorance is the folly of man. So they're super smart. There's the yellow faction, which, like every yellow faction, gets no attention whatsoever.
I mean, yeah.
And that's, I think, like, aggression is the folly of man. So they just be really nice, and they're all farmers.
In Chicago?
Yeah.
Yes, in Chicago.
Farmers.
It's in Neo-Chicago, all right?
Neo-Tokyo.
Why would they choose to do that? Like, out of every
and then-
location.
Wait, hold on,
So
Trey.
we got
1 second.
white-
Would you mind if I said one last thing about Akira, real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so the live action adaptation, the Western one. I don't know if everyone's heard about that, but I just want to say that one of the adaptations, they were planning on doing that. The setting was going to be in Neo Manhattan.
Wait, really?
I just thought that was
Wait.
funny.
Like, when was this planned for?
This is like early 2000s, I think. So
Really?
like probably the worst time aesthetically, I think, for an Akira movie.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Divergent. So you got white faction, which is all selfless. You got the blue faction, which is all smart. You've got the yellow faction, which is all nice, and then you have, I think it's the black faction, that's all about, like, justice. I think the black faction's like the inability to make judgments is the folly of man.
I've said it every time. That's the folly of man.
Yeah, because they're
The
all
inability to make
about
judgment.
like putting things
We're all
in
so
black and white
fickle.
terms. You know, it's either right or it's wrong. There is no in between. Because that gray area is what caused the downfall of mankind.
Which one's the bad one? Which one's the
Yeah,
enemy
which
faction?
one's the evil one that controls
So,
them?
spoiler alert: the enemy faction is the blue one.
Yeah,
Oh, it's the blue one?
Blue Oyster Cult.
The smart one.
Oh, yeah.
They're the smart ones. And then there's the red faction,
Oh,
Red
which is
Faction
all about
Guerrilla.
how,
That's a good game. I've never played it. but I
which
heard
is
it
all about how, I think it was like, the lack of courage is the downfall of man. So
Okay, this is just
they're
insurmountably
all
stupid
cool,
already.
and they're all about being courageous and doing cool stuff.
This is just like
So
a forced-
unsurprisingly, so there's these things that happen every year, I guess, because they do, where the children, like once they reach a certain age, the children can choose to either stay in their faction or go to another faction.
Wow, a coming of age dystopian story.
And this happens every year, yeah. Also, this is, I don't know if this is important or not because I forgot about it, but main character girl has a brother. Yeah?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
a real brother?
So, yes.
That's wild.
So, they're at this thing, and, it's a custom for the people in the white group to stay in the white group, because that's what they do. So, unsurprisingly enough, girl brother joins the blue group
The Blue
at
Men
his
group.
thing, and everybody's like, "What?" And nobody likes the blue group. Why would you join the blue group?
Wait, so
And
wait,
he's
the
like,
blue group is
I don't know, I
actually
just
bad?
kind of did. I'm sorry, guys. And he joins the blue group. And then girls like, well,
You could even say that
Guess
he's
I'm in the-
Divergent.
Yeah,
he is
We were
Divergent,
the real Divergent was
so-
the friends we made along the way.
What are we, some kind
but
of
so
Divergent?
is, but girl is also Divergent as she joins the red group.
Wow, she must be very brave.
Yeah. She must be very cool.
She must be different from
And
the
so
rest.
her parents were like, "No, you can't be courageous or cool." And she's like, "No, I'm cool now." And she joins the red group.
This doesn't sound like an interesting plotline at all.
And so basically, girl joins the red group, and they do this cool way to get into the red group base, where they go on, where they slide down buildings and do jumps and all cool stuff. And their base is underground, and there's a big waterfall. And then girl meets this guy named Four.
It's not a guy.
The only reason
Trey,
I remember his name is because he's named Four.
His name is Four, really.
There's no actual reason for his name to be Four. It's just Four.
Actually, there is, and I'll talk about it later. So basically, Four is the love interest in this.
Oh, of course, because it needed a love interest. Because
It's unsurprisingly
because this social commentary really needed that.
Yeah.
It's not a social commentary.
Okay, but like these books try to they're trying to be like, oh, we're trying to deliver like a social commentary to kids. What does the love interest have to do with that, really?
Not to derail the Divergent conversation, but I'll tell you what I'm drawing a lot of similarities to, which is a book that a lot of people read in middle school, dystopian novel that I actually did enjoy a little bit. I don't know if I enjoyed it. I thought it did it a lot better than a lot of the other ones.
Harry Potter.
No.
Harry Potter.
The Giver.
The Giver. The Giver's good because it's not like aimed at kids exactly.
It still had the love interest. It still had the coming of age. But I think that it did it in a way that it wasn't really rebellious. I think it was more respectful to the world that the guy was trying to create instead of.
I think since
cool.
like that stuff like in that story was like relevant to like the main conflict, that made sense. But when you have like this love interest out of nowhere,
who's just there just
was there even was there a love interest in the Giver? I don't remember.
Yeah, and it was all tied into him gaining the power to see color because he would see her red hair, and then it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, it made sense. It drove the story forward rather than just being there.
Being the love interest.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the important distinctions between books like Divergent, which boom at the time, and
are laughed at
films
later.
and movies that do a good job and are looked back on fondly.
Yeah. I honestly don't remember a single bit of information from the Giver, and I read that whole book.
I only read about half of it, and then I was forced to read Anthem.
Oh my god.
By Ayn Rand.
That's
gosh.
worst.
We'll try,
that's a whole other can of worms.
Let's hear the ending of this riveting story.
Yes. So girl, joining the red group, does cool stuff like play paintball in an abandoned fairground.
Are you serious? Hold on. Are you for real?
Am.
Are you kidding me? That's a real part of it?
I wish I
really
was
sounds
kidding.
like
I
you just
really
watched,
wish you
a
were
movie.
kidding. That
I wish I was too.
oh my gosh.
So basically, after that, there's some inner conflict.
Wait, hold on, Trey. Imagine in the middle of 1984, they just go to the park one day and they just do a Nerf war.
But so after that, girl sees Four drinking near the waterfall, which has no railing because they're cool. And so this is a line that I actually remember.
Oh.
She was like, "What's up?" And he was like, "I don't know. I'm just flirting with death."
Are you serious? Impeccable.
So bad.
Impeccable writing. I'm flirting with death.
What does that mean? Because you're close to the edge?
Well, no, it's because he's close to the edge and he's also drinking. So that means he could be intoxicated and wobbly and fall over and die.
Dude.
I'm being somewhat...
Dude, this book is really building my critical thinking skills. Okay, Trey, the way you're describing this book, it's just so stupid that I can't help but think it's some kind of MK Ultra experiment.
Yeah,
It's some part of MK Ultra.
I know that the primary audience was middle schoolers, but are we sure that the author wasn't a middle schooler?
No, this is like those like randomly generated kids
someone.
YouTube videos about like the learning colors in the Egg City or whatever, but like with a book.
A dystopian book about learning colors.
Anyways, I'm not done yet.
Are you just
So
gonna,
basically,
describe the whole plot?
after girl realizes that 4 has some inner turmoil and drinks because he's cool, they go into the fear chamber.
The what? The what?
The fear chamber, where basically, they figure out like your deepest fears, what you're truly afraid of, you know?
How convenient.
Yeah, and so, basically, girl and 4 go in it together because they're BFFs.
Would that work?
And
they're both afraid of monkeys.
no, like.
but so basically, they go into the fear chamber and they figure out, oh man, girl is afraid of things. How terrible. And I think she is also afraid of, like, I think a total of, like, 4 major fears or something like that.
Well,
and so is 4.
her character,
Which
has
is
to
why
be
he's
perfect.
named
Oh,
4.
are you serious?
Okay. So
has
like, what is this
4
chamber
major
like?
fears.
Because right now I'm like imagining like the traitor test chamber in TTT.
Well, no, so you know, like, where there are, like, you know, some dream segments in media where it's like they see their deepest fear and they're scared out of their mind. It's kind of like
It's one of
that,
my
except
least
they're
favorite
just...
tropes.
But no, so they're in this, like, black room, basically,
The
and then their
hyperbolic time
fears
chamber.
materialize before them.
It's like spiders, and like I'm scared.
Actually, I think one of them is
Spiders.
spiders,
How relevant?
but...
Mary Sue characters are one of the biggest drawbacks in a lot of the
Actually,
a
I
lot
don't
of
know
the
if it's
science
spiders or not. It
fiction
might not be.
type stuff that's
Yeah.
picked up in recent times, and I think it's really bad because I think a central character who has a lot of issues and a lot of conflict, I think that helps
I
make
can't
the story
remember
much better.
any of girls' fears, and I don't think they're
And all of like the
relevant to
main characters
plot.
in all of these like dystopian books are just like really underdeveloped, and they don't have like any flaws.
No, but
They're like the Kirito of
4.
young adult fiction.
Yeah.
4's biggest fear is his dad.
Wow, relevant.
Crazy.
Who's like the leader or whatever.
No, I think he's dead. But I think
Why is he
like
scared
when
of
they showed
him?
him,
Not
he was
allowed to
just
fear
he
no
was
more,
beating 4 with a belt or something like that.
Oh,
I can't
he was scared of
remember.
Oh,
ghosts.
did he have a white tank top and blue jeans on?
I don't know. But so basically they do that and they're like, "Wow, you're afraid of your dad?
What a
What a
loser!
stupid boy."
Oh, they actually
What a
said that? Hold
loser."
on.
No, they
Oh.
don't say that. But basically, while that's all going on, Blue Group is brainwashing the White Group. Or no, I think it's Blue Group is brainwashing the Red Group into attacking the White Group because the Blue Group does not like the White Group. The Blue Group and the White Group are rivals. All right?
What was the Blue Group's thing again?
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
Is power.
So basically, they're taking advantage of these meathead Red Group guys, and basically becoming a kill force to completely wipe out the whites.
Wow. Wow.
It sounds oddly racially charged.
Alternate history.
So, to the point that I read, the Red Group was going into the White Group area and killing everyone, and then Girl finds her parents and her brother. What? And they do a thing. But I think Girl's dad got shot to death or something like that. But that's pretty much all I read.
That was a pretty long explanation for such an anti-event.
that was like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't read Divergent, I mean, you don't need to know more. Flip to the last
Exactly.
20 pages and
There's no deeper symbolism. I'm sure there's no deeper symbolism that you have to read the book to understand.
There probably isn't.
Honestly,
The writer
okay.
just wrote and like gave it to like a publisher, and they're like, they'll buy it.
Yeah, dude, these brainless kids are gonna love this.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to get to some of the top ones.
We can get to some more. I
We
want
have,
to
like,
talk about
20
the
minutes
Hunger
left.
Games real quick.
Yeah.
And can we
Oh, wait, can I
talk?
talk? I haven't
Okay.
talked in a
I've
while.
seen 2 Hunger Games
Wait.
movies. Can we
Wait.
talk about the Hunger Games'
Wait.
atrocious world
Wait,
building?
can I talk for a second?
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
The Hunger Games are just terrible. Like they don't have like any sort of. There's no motivation for like why the heroes are doing what they're doing. There's no like valid criticism like the government or anything. They're just like, oh, they're bad, they're mean, they're making us fight other people, which is already like, yeah, we get it, that's bad. And then like everyone else in the series that is not directly with them is just like, well, it's okay. We like fighting. We are bad people. Like there's no morality to anyone.
How much of the Hunger Games
I
have you
think
read?
the whole
I read
idea
all of
is
it.
supposed to be that it's supposed to be a capitalist kind of society, capitalism to the extreme, where there is an upper class that is basically acts as a group monarchy and spits down at pretty much everyone else. But it's done in a way where it's just the same recycled trash that we've been getting since capitalism as an idea came to be. It does nothing. It doesn't give any unique insight. It has some interesting ideas in it. Just the execution, it has a potential. It had a potential, I should say, and I don't think that it was at all exploited to how it could have been. I think that the movies of which I saw, I think the first 2, did a much worse job even than the books did. I don't like the books either. All in all, I think that it was a series that got more attention than I think it deserved, just because of the arena fighting aspect, along with the
Arena fighting.
Hunger.
Yeah,
with
what if like the Hunger Games was like it was like some Quake lobby?
that
I mean,
along
I'd
with the
read
boom
that.
in science fiction, that type of fiction going on at the time, I think that's the only reason it was successful.
But I will say it is one of the like first notable battle royale scenarios.
Dude, don't-
It's Fortnite.
Okay.
Well, yeah, really, because like it inspired so much off of it.
Minecraft Hunger
like-
Games.
I mean,
Minecraft
basically.
survival games. Have you guys ever played that?
No.
I
I refuse to.
have not, and I'm ashamed to admit that I have not.
I've never won a game of survival games.
I've never played a game of survival.
I'm just gonna say that right now. I suck at Minecraft.
Okay, but
But
before we wrap up here, can I say some more about the Hunger Games real quick?
Go ahead.
I mean, we have a hot second.
Yeah, we have a bit. Okay,
got a
actually.
few minutes.
But the Hunger Games, like most of the dystopian books for like tweens or whatever, the world building is just I can't really I don't have words right now that I can use to express how terrible it is. Okay, so imagine this. So in the Hunger Games, there's like District 1 or whatever, the capital, right? And every other district, like the country's like United States is split up into districts, which like, but the thing is, each of them are in charge of one single thing. And I think it doesn't take a genius to figure out the problem with that already. Okay, first of all, I want to start with the ones that aren't that bad. Okay, District 11, which is the South, all right, that it's dedicated 100% to agriculture.
Well,
No, that's District 8.
Or District
I think,
8, whatever
right?
one is the South, I think. I
I
don't.
think it's District
Yeah.
8, because isn't that where the little girl is from?
I have no clue. Okay.
Remember that the funny 3 fingers and the da da da.
Oh no.
Remember?
oh, I hated
That's
that. I
stupid
thought it was
anyways.
terrible.
But okay, so first of all, the so this district, the agriculture district, like I don't really I can't really explain to like how like just bad of an idea that is, because like it should like it's just like, what if there's just like some kind of crop failure, then everybody in the country starves, and also like you can only grow like certain crops because like you like ignoring the fact that like just like dedicating a single area to one like economic function is bad already.
Yeah, and
Like-
there's no reason for them to do that either. It's
Okay.
just like
Yeah, there's no reason, and that was one of the better examples. Okay, District.
What about District 12?
District 3.
The one where Katniss is
Yeah,
from.
no, District 3. I want to talk about that one. That one, it's California. It's California's. That's like the geographic area. Guess what their prime economic function is?
what?
Fishing.
Douchebaggery.
Fishing.
Fishing.
I'm not joking.
Oh, you know what?
The
this-
entirety
this-
of California,
You know what?
from the coast to the Sierra Nevadas, is for fishing entirely.
Everyone's
There is
lined up at
no
the
other
fucking
industry.
It might not be
rods.
too bad. That's it, though.
Now,
District 12 is completely dedicated to coal mining.
Hey!
That's
You
what the
know,
Canaries
yes,
are for.
because it's
Coal mining.
a good idea to reserve just one spot for coal
Do
mines.
not
So
take advantage
dumb.
of the natural resources.
Yeah,
that
like
are
imagine if they
littered
found
across
some
your
massive
entire
shale
nation. No,
depot in
you find one, and
District
that's all you get.
District
Find
3 or
one
something.
pocket.
Like
No,
like,
keep
oh, well,
that-
we
keep
can't
that-
mine it because it's not dedicated to coal mining.
Yeah, it's like, sorry, we found this
Wasn't there, like, a
massive
secret District 13?
oil. District 13, no, they existed and then they were destroyed.
They were destroyed.
But they're still
Because they weren't
around?
dedicated to one single economic function.
they didn't dig fast enough.
They didn't serve their one role. Their one unchanging role.
But
Okay,
they were
but
responsible for,
okay.
like, making ostrich.
Okay, but California, that is not even the worst. Just think the entire fishing. Also, just a side note, if any of the districts would be like, well, since we get treated terribly, we're just not going to provide our function, and the entire country will just shut down. Except for District 3 or whatever, because like they just get fish.
Who cares about
Yeah, District 3
fish?
has no bargaining power. But like any of the other districts can be like, yeah, we're just going to quit until we get like better conditions.
And why do why
And there's
do they
nothing
use
that they
coal
can do.
power? Like in a future where there's like all like floaty stuff and like everything's like do they all use coal? Is that the only thing they
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
due
imagine
to
a fossil
steampunk.
fuel.
It's kind of like steampunk, but not really.
But, so, you know what I just realized?
What?
They destroy the district if they don't comply, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, but then how does that
Like,
work?
because that's how they destroyed District 13.
Right.
So, like, if you're like, oh yeah, I am the one agricultural economic thing, yeah, destroy me if you want, and watch the rest of the
Yeah,
country starve.
why
you
would they destroy
idiot.
them? They have no leverage.
It-
The capital's
What do
the
you mean?
weakest district in the entire series. Like, how does that work? Also, but okay, to
They
wrap
have a
up,
military, I guess?
I think the worst example of like the district system is all of District 1 soldiers, all of the capital soldiers. There's District 2 is dedicated entirely to providing soldiers. And
Well,
I don't
you
think
just
that I
gave-
can
you just
explain
gave
to
the
you
military
how bad
power.
of an idea it is to like subject these people like terrible living conditions and be like, okay, now your only role is to provide soldiers for our army. What
Stalin
sense does
has
that
just
make?
given
They're just gonna
command
shoot
to
you
the
because they
district
hate
to
you.
the
Comply
Red Army
because
to
they're all
the
bad
pros.
people. Like why they just wrote it
Okay,
like
and
oh,
the
yeah.
district, and if District 1, the capital, is destroyed, none of the other districts would like suffer in any way, shape, or form, because they provide nothing. So there's literally no reason for any of the districts to not just like destroy the District 1.
Yeah.
Zero reason.
No, so
Like
this is
I get
my
the
headcanon.
analogy it's like trying to make, but like be smart about it. Don't make it just
What
like
if what if the fishing district won?
the fish.
Yeah, no, it's
fish
gonna be
and-
like it's gonna be
women want me, fish fear me.
the capital
No,
will collapse.
yeah,
dude.
like-
Do you think it's like
like
all
this-
like boomer men who grill and fish all day?
District 3 is just full of like all of that and like
Facebook
District 3 never
boomers.
pops up because they're all just so happy.
Yeah.
They're not for you.
No,
They're-
they just want
think
to they just want to grill for goodness sake.
Yeah.
They can't have any
What were you
coal.
gonna
They
say?
can't have any coal for their grills. So they have to eat the fish raw.
Oh god.
I'm sorry, it's not your specialty. You're not allowed to have this cold.
There's a spin-off, and like the main character is Larry the Cable Guy, and he's like, well, if there's no coal, like the government's taking all our coal, and we can't grill. I
don't think you grill with coal.
So we invented this thing called charcoal. It's like coal, but with wood.
Too bad our economic area isn't dedicated entirely to wood, because now we can't have it. We can't cut down any of the trees.
We discovered propane.
Also, another book. I forget the name of it, but I watched a video about it. The world building is like, okay, so the United States is now split up into 2 countries, right? If you recognize this book, don't even tell me. I'm not gonna read it. I don't care about it.
This is the future where the South won.
This is from the South one. This is BioShock. No, but
wait, is it Black Future?
No, I don't know what this is. Oh my God! Don't even. No, but
I can't talk.
Yeah, we can't talk about that there. Ben, cut that out. But okay. so like it's split into 2 countries, and like right along like the Great Plains lines, like the split, and the country where it takes place apparently, the capital is in Denver, and it's the capital's on the border, with a war with like a state that it's at a war with, which makes no sense, which is stupid. It's a brainless thing to assume that could ever happen. But do you want to know the worst part? Instead of like Denver having anti-air like defense like against like bombing raids, guess what their defense is? They have a giant dome that encases the entire city, so that it's immune to bombing.
Oh my
God. Course.
Yeah,
what a genius idea! What a solid idea.
Do you know what book this is, or did you forget?
I don't remember. I don't remember what book this is.
He doesn't want to remember.
Anyways, we're running out of time. So an actual good, I'd say, dystopian book is The City of Ember.
City of Ember. I've read like half that.
Oh yeah.
Only read the first book.
Do
not read any of the others. So
in like 50 words or less.
Basically, underground city. Which is running out of supplies, you know? And, you know, find Note. Note is like, here's how to get out of the city. They get out of the city. It's a lot more complex than that, but I actually enjoyed reading it.
Yeah, I like I don't know. I like all of, like, Orwell's stuff. No matter, like,
I've only read
it's not,
1984.
It's usually just, like, critiques of, like, historical stuff. I really like Fahrenheit 451. I think that was good.
Fahrenheit 451 was good because it was, like most of them are just, like, like, big government bad. But I liked Fahrenheit 451's anti-materialist view.
Animal Farm is really good. You guys should.
Yeah, I've never read it.
It's super short.
I've heard it is very.
I don't have enough read in me to read Animal Farm.
Anyways,
all right, so
we're about out of time. So what is this about Pepto-Bismol, Cale?
Oh well, I was just saying that if you do choose to watch Akira, then just remember that at near the end of the movie. Just remember that. It's the unofficial name for the goings on. Wink, wink.
All right, so here's how it's gonna end. And as I described it, I'm gonna put in like stuff. All right, so girl Hunger Games shoots bow,
yeah.
And then I plan to a map of the United States, and I just put an explosion effect over Missouri.
You know what we should do? No, okay. You know what we should do? What like on our own time.
Anyways, oh my gosh, is that a giant arrow? Whoa!